So just think about FCTR this way. The elements of your financial statements are translated at different exchange rates. Some are translated at average, some are translated at spot, but essentially that net asset value is translated at one exchange rate on the last day of the financial year. Okay, so we've got all of these different items being translated at different exchange rates, but then the standard says we need to translate it at the closing rate at the end of the year. There's going to be a mismatch, okay? So the mixture of different exchange rates versus one exchange rate is obviously going to cause differences, which causes our FCTR. Okay, so as an example, okay, at acquisition, our net asset value are all translated at the same exchange rate because they're all elements of equity. So we use the transaction date. That's what the standard tells us. But in the current year, we've got profits, we've got dividends, and they get translated using different exchange rates. Then the end of the year comes and we say, okay, we've got this amount that we've calculated in foreign currency. Now we need to translate it at the spot rate. But we've kept track of everything translated at its correct exchange rate according to what type of item it is, and it comes to a different total. So that's where our FCTR is sitting. Keeping track of it in foreign currency and translating at year-end exchange rate, and keeping track in South African rand, there's going to be a mismatch. Okay, and we have to fix that mismatch. The point of me doing this question was to show you, before you even get started in the nitty-gritty, you can bank 4 marks. Okay, you can bank marks by just starting with something and then making sure you've referenced it at some point so that it ties to your statement of changes in equity. Okay, this got you 3 silly little marks looking at a gain on bargain purchase. Okay, looking at both as profit, and you said you wanted to see easy marks, so let's look at easy marks. Okay, so easy, there's 3 marks. 1, 2, 3, so now we're sitting on 6 easy marks. Okay, working out the share of loss from the joint venture, it wasn't a difficult one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we're sitting on 11 easy marks. Okay, the Forex one, you could have easily worked out the interest on the loan. Look at all of the amounts that came in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. Then translating it to Japanese yen to work out the exchange difference, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are really close to 50% already before even considering the FCTR pieces. Okay, so when it comes to a big, monstrous question like this, stop thinking about, oh my word, I don't know FCTR. Yes, there might be some elements of FCTR that you don't understand, but let me tell you, there's a lot of the stuff in here that you can do. I know for a fact that you can do at acquisition analysis of equity. Okay, I know for a fact that you know, okay, I need to translate this from foreign to functional, and then I'm going from functional to presentation, and that's why the FCTR is arising. Okay, so there are a lot of marks outside of the complexity in this question that you could have banked to at least get yourself to 50%. And that is what I did, because FCTR, I did not understand in PGDA at all. Okay, it was one of those where I was like, I will take the L. But there were things in here that I knew I could do, where I knew I could bank the marks, even if my FCTR wasn't that up to scratch. And that's what I need you guys to do. Okay.
Now I want to show you something that might come as a little bit of a shock. So during that session, I had somebody put up their hand and they said to me, oh my word, I completely missed the issue of shares, because in this question, they mentioned that the subsidiary issued additional shares. So the share capital amount here was 1 October 2020, but they acquired the subsidiary, I think, in April 2021. So you had to adjust the ordinary share capital to get the at acquisition value. So this person was freaking out. They were like, I missed that entirely. So I didn't get goodwill. I got gain on bargain purchase. I failed this question. So I actually went and marked their attempt. And in actual fact, this is the funny thing, they got 29 out of 40. So they got 73%. And that was as a result of not being perfect, but just starting, just doing what they know, applying that to this situation, and that is how they still pass the question. So my message to you is this: don't get caught in the nitty-gritty of, oh my word, I don't understand this topic, so I'm just completely going to flunk this question. No, tap into what you do know and start there. Okay, you just need to start. So this was a big 40-mark FCTR question. It was actually my ITC paper when I wrote ITC. And you can see there were marks for silly things. So you got 4 marks for free, right? And I think I mentioned this in the video. You get 4 marks for free just for putting down the obvious items and for doing the correct format. So please just trust yourself and do what you do know. Break it down into bite-sized pieces, especially a big question like this. You're dealing with a joint venture, the parent, and the subsidiary. So deal with each one individually in order to get that consolidated amount.